2, 1.
Welcome, everybody, to the Ring Generals podcast. My name is Nick Nenad. Alongside me is Eric.
What's cooking?
And the RKJ Man.
Let's talk that talk, y'all. Hypocritical Nick.
How's it going, guys?
10 days away, brah.
Dude, 10 days away.
Woo!
We're so close to WrestleMania 35. The Ring Generals will be in the New York, New Jersey area.
Can't wait.
We'll be at WrestleMania.
Big pimpin'.
We'll be at WrestleCon.
Everything, man. We're
Might
gonna
be a couple
all over
other
the place.
places.
We're going to be everywhere.
All over the place.
A lot
Just
of
check your
stuff going
timeline.
down. A lot of stuff
check
going down.
Check your Instagram.
Get your words out, RKJ,
Check your
man.
Instagram.
Come on,
check
man.
your Twitter. It's been a long day.
If you haven't even heard
I had
about
to pay
it,
all that money for my cap and gown.
yeah. If you haven't even heard, I mean, we've announced it for like what, a couple weeks.
Well, if you're listening for the first time.
If you're listening for the first time, hey man, welcome to the battlefield. This
Yeah.
is the Ring Generals, y'all.
It is. And we're going to WrestleMania for the first time ever. All three of us together. Eric and RKJ Man have never been to a WrestleMania. I was fortunate enough to go to WrestleMania 26.
Thanks for rubbing it in our faces again.
Yeah, but we're going now.
I love how you always bring that up.
Well, we didn't have money at the time, so I mean.
My parents paid for it, but
of course.
I definitely didn't pay for it myself.
God.
I had a baseball tournament at the same time, and it worked out. I know my parents probably wouldn't have bought it if I didn't have a baseball tournament conveniently over there where the hotel was paid for.
How in the world do you have it? You had a baseball tournament right when WrestleMania.
I had to leave
That's
my
crazy.
championship game for WrestleMania. I missed my championship game,
Wow.
and it was never the same with my team after that.
Oh yeah, your team hated you.
I was
you were like the Antonio. You were the
Shawn
white.
Michaels' last match. All you
You
guys.
were the white Antonio Brown. You were the white Antonio Brown.
Well,
after
yeah,
that.
but I was.
Your coach was Mike Tomlin.
I wasn't gonna pitch, and I was gonna bat like in the lower third of the lineup. So it wasn't like I
Who was the
major
big
player.
Roethlisberger of that team?
That's a good question. I don't really remember. There was a kid named Brennan.
He
That
a
was
Ben
really
Roth-
good.
he was
Yeah,
a
but
Ben
he had like
Roethlisberger.
issues with like his armpits all the time. So
he smelled.
No, he had like
he used to put on
he got
deodorant.
like rashes all the time. So occasionally he'd have to not play because it would hurt too much to swing. But we relied on it. We also had this kid.
What?
We also had this kid that used to show. Dude, I swear, we had this kid. I don't remember his name. I'm not even gonna say his name. If I remember it halfway through, there's a kid that showed me his girlfriend's nudes in the dugout. One time.
Oh my god! Yeah. How old were you at the time?
Dude, I was like 11. Bro.
Wait a minute, his girlfriend was singing news.
Well, how old was
this
that?
is child pornography now. Oh, we're gonna
No,
get
he was in high school. He was in high school, which does not change the fact at all. Actually, never mind. I must have been like 14.
Okay,
15
let's
then.
move on before we get
Yeah.
arrested by the cops. Okay,
Yeah.
we're gonna,
let's,
it's gonna be
move
surviving Ring Generals in 10
Surviving-
years.
Good point.
Just
Yeah.
like Cardi B, R. Kelly, and
Hashtag-
all of them.
Yeah, no, it's good.
Cosby and Weinstein, all those guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But so WrestleMania is 10
Nick
days away.
Weinstein.
We are going to get what was that?
I called it Nick Weinstein.
Nick Weinstein. Oh,
Nick
wow.
man, it's not that far,
Weinstein.
man. It's one-
Nick
one-
Weinstein.
it's one girl.
Nick Weinstein,
But
white
is
Antonio
it-
Brown.
Okay, here's the question.
hypocritical Nick.
Here's the question though. Is it technically I was the same age as the girl that he was showing me the pictures to. So there's
Wait a
nothing
minute,
really
this
wrong
dude was
with
in
that.
high school and he was dating an 11-year-old
Well, no,
girl?
because you can be in high school and still be underage though.
Oh, that's...
I think he was a
ugh.
sophomore or
Oof.
junior, and he was
the
dating a sophomore or junior. So technically, I was actually looking at the nudes as someone
Okay,
that was older
let's
than
move
me.
on to the wrestling and MMA and boxing. This
Yeah,
is crazy. Yeah, calm
Long story
down.
short, I went to WrestleMania 26. All right.
All right,
Yeah.
you're crazy,
and some
man.
stuff happened in the dugout. All right, we're not gonna.
Okay.
Saying too much, Nick.
You're saying way too much.
Yeah, we're not even gonna make it to WrestleMania now because I'm gonna be arrested after the show.
You're gonna get arrested.
yeah.
Surviving Nick.
So WrestleMania is 10 days away, like I mentioned. We will get to that in a second. But we do want to start the podcast because we are going to be predicting WrestleMania, going all into it because it's going to be the last full podcast we do before we are in New Jersey,
And
New
then
York
we're gonna
City.
do a lot of stuff up
Yeah,
there.
well, but so we want to get this out of the way here a week before, so we give a lot of you guys time to view our predictions, stuff like that.
Before the last Raw and SmackDown.
Exactly, but so we want to start with something that has nothing to do with wrestling, and that is Conor McGregor's quote-unquote retirement announcement.
I call bullshit.
This is a big deal because Conor McGregor is, at least in my opinion, top 3 UFC fighter right now. As far as popularity, and maybe the
whether
most
we
popular.
like him or not, you know.
Yeah, and whether we think he's actually retired or not retired, he still announced his retirement. So, you know, real quick after that, there was a story about a possible sexual assault charge in Ireland or something like that. So, a little sketchy here, but I do want to go over. I don't want to get into that because I don't know much about that, and that's just rumors and stuff like that. But
I've heard some people say it's fake news. I heard
it
it's
could
already
be.
been.
It could be.
Yeah,
No,
I
it could
heard
be
about
fake.
that too.
Yeah, but the one thing about Conor McGregor is he tweeted this out himself that he was retiring. So this is technically not fake news. So we're going to talk about it, and I just want to kind of go over what you guys' thoughts are on this. I know what you're going to say, and that's going to be fruitful for the discussion. But I also do want to go over some of our favorite moments from Conor McGregor, if in fact he is done and will never fight again. So,
who do you? You want to go first or what?
Nah, you go.
You're
the MMA guy.
Yeah, I mean, it came out of nowhere. I remember it might have been you, Nick, who sent it to us. It came out of nowhere late at night, and I was hoping and waiting for Conor to actually make a statement afterwards, after that tweet that he did. It felt like either one, he's, someone might have hacked into his account. I actually went, a little bit crazy on that one. Or number two, he actually means it, or something is coming up. I felt like something is coming up, and we don't know what's going, we don't know what's going to happen. And until that sexual assault, news came out, I don't know if it was like a coincidence or it was somewhat of a, perfect timing, or I don't know what's going on. But with Conor McGregor, publicity stunt, maybe. But then again, I'm looking at, I want to go a little bit back. I was tuning into your podcast the other day, and I knew that you were talking about Gronk, how he's, retired now. And Jared was saying that, hey, look, Gronk, he can rest up all he wants, but until the time comes when he has to go back to the Patriots and play, party's over, and, they'll need him. And I think Conor, he's going to take some time off, enjoy, some time off with his family, and then until Dana calls him up, hey, man, I really need you for, the super fight or this event going on, we need you, or whatever. So I think he's going through the same route as Gronk is doing, taking some time, recover, and then after that, maybe he'll think about, coming back until the money's right,
Makes sense. RKJ, man?
Yeah, I think it's a bunch of BS. And the reason why I think so is because of the way he lost to Khabib. I mean, do you really want people seeing you go out on your last fight, like choking out, and then nobody even remembers the fight now because of the aftermath of the fight? Nobody cares about that. So, I mean, I think for me personally, Conor McGregor is just doing this as a publicity stunt. Maybe he's in negotiations with. We saw that Dana White does not want to give Conor McGregor part ownership in UFC. So maybe he's attempting to do a power play move. Maybe he'll even go to the WWE. I think this week has been a big week for the WWE because you've got two stars who can potentially jump in there after WrestleMania. You got Rob Gronkowski and you've got Conor McGregor, who both retired, who both have some connections with the WWE and being connected. So
coincidence?
It's interesting. It's very interesting.
It is very interesting.
It's got me intrigued. Yeah. It's got all of us intrigued. Okay?
During WrestleMania season. Wow.
During WrestleMania season. But, I mean, for me personally, I just know that this is a bunch of BS. Conor McGregor already retired back in, 2016, and came back, and he's only had, like, a couple matches, or I think one. And I think that was Khabib. So, for me, like, you're going to do this a second time. This is just, it just screams like, hey, I might be in negotiations, or hey, I know my name's not popping like that anymore, so let me go back, let people miss me, and then when people want me to come back for this super fight, I'll come back. Or if they don't want me, if they want to treat me bad, I can go over to Vince McMahon. If Ronda Rousey leaves after WrestleMania, which is the rumors are kind of sort of saying that she may not be there after WrestleMania, and so if that happens, the WWE is going to be looking for a star. Brock Lesnar could go back to UFC. They're going to be looking for that mainstream star that can get them through, and Conor McGregor is that guy. Rob Gronkowski is that guy. So if I'm Conor McGregor, I'm fielding all offers. So let's see what happens, but I just think it's a bunch of BS. I think Conor McGregor will be back in some capacity, UFC, WWE, Bellator, wherever, within the next year. Boxing, wherever.
Yeah, and it looks like Conor McGregor is actually continuing to train despite retired. There's a video of him,
When did this video come out?
4 hours ago.
Oh wow.
I mean,
got a lot of breaking news.
So the
today.
fact of the matter, thank God, stuff always happens when we go off the air.
And
Exactly.
I got another one too, but I'll talk about that in the indie segment.
Okay,
All right.
dude. I like these setups, man. We see if you're listening to Ring Jones right now and you're like, you know what? I don't really give a shit about Conor McGregor. When are they going to change topics? Oh, we're going to talk about John Cena's new girlfriend.
Yeah.
We're going
Yeah.
to talk about WrestleMania. We're going to give our predictions for WrestleMania.
I'm gonna talk about
Eric's
hypocritical Nikki.
Exactly. Yeah. Eric's going to give some great indie updates and stuff like that. I'm going to talk about Cardi B. So there's a lot to talk about.
Cardi
here.
B.
But
You know how I be.
Getting back to Conor McGregor, for me, I kind of echo what you said, Eric, where I was kind of waiting for something else to happen, like maybe him have some big launch for his whiskey the next day, or to announce that he was going to be in some boxing match
Nothing
or something like
happened.
that. But what happened was there was that sexual assault rumor. So
That
That
came
kind
out
of
of it. Yeah.
that kind of ruined
that
any
doesn't
opportunity.
that doesn't make him look good either when he retires and then the next day, less than 24 hours later, there's a bad rumor about you. In this
but
case,
everybody now these days has something against them. Of
Well,
a
that's-
sexual assault or something. Everybody's got something against them.
here's the thing. Nobody's going to file a sexual assault charge against Henry Cejudo. They're going to file the sexual assault charge against Conor McGregor or Brock Lesnar or Tyson Fury, the most popular guys, famous people, right? Because
Where they can get
they're
the
not
money
gonna get
from
it.
you.
They're not exactly. They're not going to get it. So
Mayweather.
maybe this is fake. Maybe it's not. But that wasn't a good look. And I think for Conor McGregor's case, maybe the reason he's training is because he's like, well, that didn't go the way I wanted to. That retirement didn't last too long, and there's bad rumors. So maybe I got to go out and try to kick Khabib's ass.
My biggest thing with McGregor is if you know the rumors are BS, come out on social media, come out in an interview, social media, whatever, and say these
I'm
rumors
hoping
are
for those
false.
too. Yeah.
They are not true. This and this happened.
Yeah, but there's no way he didn't see it. Too.
You know what I'm
if
saying?
If it was just popped
Like-
out of nowhere, and he would be like, "Nah, this is BS."
Like,
You know.
I hate when people like to ignore it. Don't ignore it if you know that it's true. If it's not true, come out immediately and say, "This is BS. I'm going to defend my
I agree.
name. All these people who are saying this BS, I'm going to sue your ass afterwards."
Yeah.
You know, but nobody wants to do that. He doesn't want to do that. I don't know and that makes people think, "Oh, this might have some legitimacy to it." You know, so come out, Conor McGregor, and say that. Come on, say that this is BS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to the WWE and getting a nice paycheck.
Yeah. No way.
Yeah.
They're not going to do it. Maybe
Unless
they
they
will.
already have a contract signed.
Well, they had.
Because here's the thing: we haven't, besides Conor McGregor being at the St. Patrick's Day parade in Chicago, or was it New York? I don't remember where it was. We really hadn't heard a lot from Conor McGregor besides that commercial on TV, right? Which is not real. It's not happening live. So very well, he could have been in negotiations with WWE. We know how secret they keep that stuff. Now, a lot of times we have a hunch about Ronda Rousey, something like that, but we didn't know that Ronda Rousey was going to. The superstars didn't know that Ronda Rousey was going to come out after the Royal Rumble. I thought that Ronda Rousey was not going to show up once the Royal Rumble ended, to be honest. So they could very well keep something secret. I didn't think the Hardy Boys were coming back at WrestleMania 33, and I'm a wrestling fan, and I follow it. And we were, so it's very well be could be negotiating with something with WWE. He could be negotiating a movie or something like that. And that's why he comes out and says, well, for now,
boxing fight.
For now, don't. Well, I mean, unless he's fighting Floyd Mayweather again, I don't really think a boxing match
He
would
really,
make
you know what? He really shouldn't.
because it doesn't. Because that was everyone wants to see Floyd Mayweather get his ass kicked.
Yeah.
Okay, to be honest,
Somebody
but
beat
it was
him,
I was entertained by that boxing match.
I
though.
was too
I
because
was.
McGregor
It was-
actually
yeah.
won a round, which was insane.
Right.
If you now becoming more of a boxing fan because of this podcast, the fact that McGregor won a round in that fight
It's very impressive.
that's
is
impressive,
nuts,
man.
Because
That's a miracle.
good.
that fight I talked about with what was it, Garcia and Errol Spence Jr. Garcia didn't win a round. He didn't win a round.
Right.
Conor McGregor won a round against Floyd Mayweather. Are you kidding me?
I know. It's just.
Like, I know Mayweather probably didn't take him as seriously as, say, like a
Right.
top contender, but like, are you joking? Like,
I know.
So yes, he may have a future in boxing if you wanted to get into that, and he hasn't taken like the years of head punches and stuff like that. He's won a lot of his UFC fights, so he probably is not up there in like the concussion talk. So he could go into boxing if he wanted to. He could go into WWE. He could be expanding his whiskey. He could be starting a movie career like John Cena or Randy Couture kind of did after the UFC or The Rock, obviously. So we don't know. But I personally believe that he will have at least one more fight because there are fights still out there. And he was talking about the other day how he wasn't ready for Khabib, and that's why he always likes those second fights because he can truly prove that, okay, this person can beat me once, but they don't have my number.
How is he not ready for Khabib the first time?
I just think it's not necessarily that. It's like there's a reason baseball doesn't have it's not winner takes all in game one. There's a reason why that basketball and hockey they play 7 games because just because a team wins game one does not mean that that team is better. We've seen teams come back from 3-0. We've teams see like so. Conor McGregor's thing here is I'm not afraid to lose, but I'm not going to lose again to the same guy. He beat Nate Diaz.
Yeah, that's
right.
That's
the biggest example of this. And that was a really tough fight. Some people might have said Nate Diaz won, but Conor McGregor won. Okay, UFC usually isn't very controversial with their decisions. Yeah. At least lately, I have not seen a bad decision by the UFC. So, you know, with him, I see him coming back for at least one more fight with Khabib. And then maybe another super fight with something that maybe Nate Diaz, a trilogy. But again, like I'm talking about, he already beat Nate Diaz. So he doesn't need to prove he has not beaten Khabib. And that's the one person that he needs to beat. So you're right. Brock Lesnar came back to beat Mark Hunt. He avenged his loss because he thought there was kind of an injustice with his diverticulitis.
Speaking of Brock Lesnar, did you guys see what Mr. Cormier said on SportsCenter?
Yeah, we did.
I did. I kind of forgot. What did he say?
He said, well, he's speaking tongue-in-cheek, but he was like, Brock Lesnar hasn't answered me. I may need to show up to WrestleMania and cost him his Universal Championship.
Bro, okay, so here's what we got looking for WrestleMania because we're going to transition. I mean, we're talking about Conor McGregor, but in 5 minutes it's going to be over. For WrestleMania, we have the threat right now of Conor McGregor, Daniel Cormier, Travis Brown. There's a lot of MMA influence on this guy. There's a lot of potential. Rob Gronkowski too. Okay, Rob Gronkowski lives an hour away from New York in Foxborough.
Really? He lives there?
Well, he lives in that area. So Foxborough is actually way closer to New York than Boston too. It's about 45 minutes away via car from Boston. And Foxborough is a long way away. So. Gronk is not too far away. He's as far away as, say, Triple H is, wherever, I'm saying.
Connecticut.
So he lives in Connecticut, more than likely. So it's not totally out of the question. I know Conor McGregor has flown overseas to throw a dolly through a bus before. So I think
if Conor was going to show up, he was probably going to show up the night after WrestleMania. I think that's that Raw after Mania. Daniel Cormier.
Well, why would that? But
they want to save something. Usually, the Raw after WrestleMania is usually there for surprises.
That's true.
That could happen.
But Cormier
against Brock Lesnar showing up at WrestleMania
to screw him over for the.
They could find
that would be
a good.
That is the perfect way. But does it legitimize Seth Rollins though?
I don't think Seth Rollins is better than Brock Lesnar, anyways. So if Seth Rollins wins.
It's not.
If Seth Rollins wins,
he's got to get somebody's help.
There's got to be some weapons used or something not someone's help, but Daniel Cormier's help. That's enough to where I don't give a shit about how legitimate Seth Rollins looks. Let's see if I know on Raw what happens with Daniel Cormier.
Well, if you guys remember from WrestleMania 31, it was Daniel Cormier who was sitting in the crowd and he was cheering for Seth Rollins to win.
That's a good point.
So do you think that might tie?
WrestleMania 31 is Roman Reigns. You mean Roman Reigns?
Well, Seth Rollins. He was the one.
Well, he cashed
it in, and
he
was cheering.
We're not talking about
he was cheering. He was actually cheering for Seth Rollins. Do you
see,
think that might tie that up?
But I don't.
It could because Ronda Rousey was on that card too.
They don't have enough time to do that. I think it was just Cormier going out.
Why do you need time? You want this to be a surprise. You don't want. I don't want to know that Daniel. If Daniel Cormier is at WrestleMania when we get there, that's when I want to find out he's there. I don't want to find out that he's going to be there 3 days prior. Like I want Daniel Cormier to come out of the stands. Like Enzo did. And
here's what I would like. I would like Cormier to interrupt, and then something happens the next night on Raw, too, and it sets up a match in UFC, and I guess they can use the WWE influence on it, But it's so difficult because I know what Cormier was doing. He's been calling out Brock Lesnar for months, and now, because he knows ESPN has had a connection with the WWE. I mean, they had Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Ronda Rousey on earlier that later on
And
that
Roman
week.
Reigns too, right?
And Roman Reigns,
was-
dude.
yeah.
Talking about the Lakers too. Like, can we stop talking about the Lakers, man? They suck.
Lakers suck.
I mean, like,
Lakers couldn't even help out the Clippers last night by beating the
Yeah.
Jazz. Like,
yeah,
it's
a joke.
They just suck ass. They're terrible.
I mean, the only hope is Duke, and we better not lose. Let's get
Just no more 7'6" centers.
I don't know what was going on in that game. Woo. Okay, but anyway, get back to the point here. Yeah, I mean, so I know he has a connection. I know ESPN has a connection with the WWE a little bit. They do articles. They're gonna be there at WrestleMania. I could see Cormier going there, but at the same time, I think he was going into business for himself. He's desperate. He's calling out Brock Lesnar. He wants that fight. He knows people wants that fight, and I think we'll get that fight. Do I think it's going to start at WrestleMania? I would love to. It's the way for the WWE to cross into the mainstream.
Yep.
It's the way for the WWE to have some sort of legitimacy in the MMA world, especially considering the fact that freaking UFC borrows a lot of stuff from the WWE anyway, with the way they do their
Those
promos,
promos,
those
yeah.
storylines, how they set everything up. It just makes sense. But do I think it's going to happen, unfortunately? Probably not.
Yeah,
And that's what sucks about it. Or it's going to happen
Yeah.
when we're gone.
I was watching the other day the promo video between John Jones and DC that was going to happen at UFC 200, and just the way how they were building up that the rivalry between each other was just so WWE influential like. And then like John Jones say that, yeah, I don't like this guy, and then DC like, yeah, I mean, I never liked John Jones at all, but out of everybody, you know, I can beat, but the one guy that has been like a pain in the ass to me, just one guy, is John Jones.
Well, but he's never beat him.
He's
and he's
never beat
cried
him, yeah.
multiple times. And the one time I think Daniel Cormier legitimately thought he could beat John Jones was 200, and
Yeah.
John Jones got suspended.
So let me get this straight. So Daniel Cormier can't beat John Jones, yet he thinks he has a shot against Brock Lesnar?
Well, Brock Lesnar is probably worse than John Jones at MMA. I
Yeah.
mean, John Jones is the best fighter of all time. Like John Jones, I don't see him ever losing a fight again. Like I don't see anybody. Maybe Francis Ngannou, because Francis Ngannou could knock him the hell out. But like,
Ngannou would kill him.
but
That guy's an intimidating dude.
but John Jones has not showed
some
me
good talk
anything
right
to
here.
where he would lose.
Yeah.
Right? So so to your point, yes, I think Daniel Cormier could beat Brock Lesnar and not John Jones. Like
We'll
because
see.
Speaking of John Jones, we know you guys saw that tweet that John Jones
Well,
did, right?
you know that they announced
Yeah.
later that day,
Yeah,
though,
they-
that that's BS. We're
What-
not gonna talk
what was
about
it?
Well, but is John Jones said he wanted to fight Stipe at heavyweight in July, and then later that night it was announced, oh, you're defending your light heavyweight championship in July. So no, you can't have that fight. So it was
You're
stupid.
booked, dude.
It was, but when we were in the studio
Yeah.
over there, and we're like, dude, no way, that would be an insane fight, because then, you know, you have the winner could face Brock, all this stuff, and it was great. And then like 3 hours later,
They're like, nah.
Thiago Santos versus John Jones at UFC 239 or whatever. It's whatever.
Ruined my day, man.
It did kind of ruin my day
It's-
because Thiago Santos versus John Jones is John Jones winning 90%.
Like, why would you book that fight if you know that the fans want something better?
For the WrestleMania card, too. That's the WrestleMania card of UFC is in July, International
Yeah.
Fight Week. So what I want them to
That
do
just
because,
doesn't make sense
Because
to me.
here's what they announced. And because Eric, we saw the last fights at Buffalo Wild Wings, and to be honest, they were a little bit disappointing because of the dominance of the two fighters.
Yeah.
Right? So why did they book John Jones versus an inferior opponent and Amanda Nunes versus an inferior opponent on the biggest? Those are just going to be domination
Yeah,
fights.
these are just.
I mean,
it's
Holly,
just
I
like
think-
one
I
I
sided.
think they give
think
too
what
much
they're
credit
doing-
to Holly Holm.
What I think they're trying to do, though, to be honest with you, is they're trying to showcase these fighters' talents to the casual fans like me.
Okay,
like I'm not really a
That's
UFC
fine,
guy.
yeah.
So what they're trying to do is like, oh, for the RKJ mans out there,
The RKJ
for the RKJ mans,
Doing up their own thing,
who
A lot of
cares?
blasphemous people out there.
Who
Then.
cares? For the RKJ mans out there, guess what? We're gonna show you these fighters and all this, but really, the RKJ mans out there want the Khabib versus McGregor. I paid $70 for that, and I will gladly pay another $70
Yeah.
for that fight or a fight similar to that. Daniel Cormier versus Brock Lesnar. I will pay whatever money that they put down for that. I will pay that money for sure. You know, so it's like you want to see. You need to have the best fight. So they're not booking correctly, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why UFC buy rates are going down.
Well, no, I know, because if
That's why.
you even look at, because what happened this week, they announced, or literally like the last 2 days, Conor McGregor, their top star, announces that he is not going to fight
he's
in
retired.
MMA anymore. Okay, And then you have a rumor that comes out about a super fight that almost everybody would want to see, of two names that people should
got
know.
us all excited, you know?
Yeah.
And
And then a
stop
couple
it.
hours later, you announce two fights where you more than likely know the winner of them. So what I want them to do is put a third fight on that card, because that is supposed to be the
Yeah.
WrestleMania. So put a third championship fight on that
Oh,
card.
they need to put a third championship fight that's good enough to main event.
Well, no, because I think so. The thing with John Jones is John Jones
Okay,
probably
so
will main event.
can Daniel Cormier and Brock Lesnar do that card?
Oh,
if
it's gotta
on,
happen.
If
Oh
they,
my-
Yeah.
if they were
If
on that card,
that's the main
Yeah,
event.
they got
that's
like
the main
1,
event.
2.
And maybe what they're doing is they're trying to save face, because they're thinking, well, Brock Lesnar's in this negotiation phase. We might get him versus Cormier, and maybe
I'll just tell you this: if they have that card, and I know we're projecting something that is not even rumored to be happening,
that's
but
in July.
If
Yeah.
they
3 months.
oh, that's not that far away though. That's
It's
closer
in-
than SummerSlam.
That's,
is.
like,
So,
that's, three,
Yeah.
that's 3 months away.
yeah. So
and the WWE will be shit at that time.
it's
all-
4th
all-
July weekend. It's whatever
Yeah.
that's 4th July week. Like, I'm not paying attention to WWE. I'll watch a super card in the UFC.
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
No, I don't.
nobody-
I don't need a United States of America street fight to watch.
No,
okay?
no, we don't need that.
But if you were to book Amanda Nunes versus Holly Holm, which is two well-known fighters, you have John Jones, and then the main event after those two fights is Brock Lesnar returning versus Daniel Cormier for the light or what?
Heavyweight.
Well, I guess it'd be a heavyweight
It's
fight. So
gotta
it wouldn't
be
be a
the
championship. It wouldn't be a
heavyweight.
head
It's gotta
championship
be the
fight.
heavyweight.
Well, no, but he didn't have it. John Jones. Wait, oh no, Daniel Cormier does have the heavyweight. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
he does have the
for the
heavyweight. He
heavyweight
relinquished the other
championship.
title, yeah.
You'll tell me the T-Mobile Arena will be off the chain.
Sold out,
for
dude.
that.
Oh no! I'm getting that day off, and we're all coming over to my house to watch
100%.
it.
I did 100. Like so, we do need to get to our to WrestleMania predictions, because we don't have
That
the
was a
most
part of our
time.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
predictions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. So we're but there's a lot of exciting stuff happening, and for this WrestleMania specifically, I'm glad we're going, because there is a lot of unknown still about what's going to happen in this
I
WrestleMania.
mean, I guess
There's always things but there is still there's still a lot of stuff where I'm like, oh, that could happen, like, I'm interested.
But the build,
I'm down.
The build has been.
It's been weird.
It's been weird.
Yeah.
Like I said, when I walked into the studio, I was like, they officially on Tuesday night. Eric, get that down. They officially on Tuesday, because
26 minutes.
I don't understand why you let Asuka lose the SmackDown Live Women's Championship to
clean.
Charlotte.
That's a
She's
clean
tapped
victory,
out
man.
twice.
Happy.
Yeah.
So,
But okay, here's what this does. We'll just start getting into the segment.
because
Okay?
I need you to understand. I need you to explain to me, Nick and Eric, why it makes sense. Just what is it? 12. Now it's 10 days. At the time, it was 12 days from WrestleMania. Why your SmackDown Live Women's Champion is losing again to the second straight time by tap out to Charlotte Flair, and Charlotte Flair's title will not be on the line. WWE's confirmed that.
Oh, really? Oh, well, here. Okay, so those are all good questions, and I'm going to do something that the RKJ man's going to hate, and that is good broadcasting. We'll wait and see what we talk about a little bit later. Those are great questions. I don't want to start talking about that now.
And Nick,
because
make
we
sure you
need to-
watch it. Just make sure you look it up and see if she loses, does she lose her title? If Charlotte Flair gets pinned.
As of right now on Wikipedia, which is generally pretty good with this, it says it's still for the WWE Raw Women's Championship. It says nothing about the SmackDown Women's Championship. So,
Well, they don't have Charlotte Flair as champion now. Over there.
but she's not the Raw Women's Champion.
all
Yeah.
right,
Okay,
that's true.
but so
Makes
I'm gonna take a break. We're gonna do my segment real quick to break off the stuff, and
Okay.
then we will do your guys' segments in the middle of our WrestleMania predictions, because I know
Alright.
there's gonna be some good stuff in there, and it will be, whatever. But so this is Nick's random segment of the day, and especially what we're talking about right now, this doesn't get more random than this. So I have not seen this whatever documentary or TV show that they did about Cardi B, but there's one thing that came out of it that I think everyone knows, and it's that Cardi B admitted to in the past, while she was a stripper and kind of an escort, luring men back and drugging them for their money.
And robbing them.
Well, for their money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have a huge problem with this in some terms that I don't in other terms. And I'll explain to you in this, because I understand where Cardi B literally comes from, the Bronx. I know that's a tough place Generally, those boroughs, some of those boroughs in New York City are very dangerous, rough places to live. You know, if you listen to any Notorious B.I.G. music, you understand what people have to do. So I'm all for people doing what they got to do for their money. The thing that crosses the line for me is the use of drugs kind of as a weapon to steal people's stuff, right? I could care less, to be honest. If you're struggling and you need to pay your rent or you need to pay for your daughter's tuition, you got to rob a 7-Eleven. I honestly don't have a problem with that if that is the absolute end-all, be-all, only way you can get money, right?
Really?
If you have to mug someone on the street, that's okay. But
Really?
if you use drugs and use drugs to steal someone's money after luring them back to your apartment, that's where I kind of cross. I'm talking no weapons. You don't use any weapons.
And why? Why is it? Why? Because
the problem with me is, number one, is that if a male did this, they'd be crucified. If a male did this offense, they would absolutely be crucified.
Oh yeah.
Literally
crucified.
If you switched it around, right? But because Cardi B's famous and she's likable and she talks, shit on Trump, it's okay because she had a rough life. Well, it's not okay because we should be crucifying her like we'd crucify
the men,
Bill Cosby, for example.
Weinstein, R. Kelly, all those
because
guys.
I get there's a difference between obviously rape and robbery, but it's not that far off. I mean, you're using drugs against someone's will without them knowing to take their money. What if that other guy or something like that who was just looking for a hookup, just looking for, whatever. He just needs some sex. That's whatever. As a hot chick, right? And it's the New York, so it's a different kind of world. And he's just looking for sex. And all of a sudden he gets robbed unknowingly and he wakes up in the morning and doesn't know it happened. Like, come on, like that's BS. That's Cosby stuff. But we're not going to crucify Cardi B for it because she's likable and she makes good music and she had a tough life and whatever.
Well, my biggest thing with this is I didn't necessarily get on her as much as other people because we know that Cardi B, what she is, she's been upfront and honest
but
about.
We knew she was a stripper. We didn't know she was a robber.
But come on, we know she did some sketchy shit, man. Come on. You could look at her and you can say that there's some sketchy shit.
Why is it okay?
It's not okay. I'm not saying it's okay.
That's
but what I'm saying is I looked at it and I said, okay, that was Cardi B during that time. Hopefully, and I think she has probably changed her ways since then. While we criticized and jumped on these men like Bill Cosby, Weinstein, the countless other guys or men who you can go through, is because they had this virtuous, almost like godly nature to them. They were perfect. They could do no wrong. They presented that.
And you're talking about the Weinstein.
Yeah. And they presented that. So when it happened, that all these things went down, and they made themselves seem like that, and they made us buy into it. We felt betrayed. We felt frustrated. We felt pissed off. So we went in on them, But with Cardi B, she says she's talked about, I think, in her songs how she did some sketchy, shady stuff in her past. And you can look at her and you could say, like this person, you're a stripper, you're in the Bronx or whatnot. 1 + 1 = 2. We all know that some way, somehow, you did something sketchy in the past. And sometimes we all have those skeletons in our closet. For me personally with Cardi B, I just want to make sure, I just want to know that she's not doing that shit right now. And also, I would like to hear from the dudes who got robbed, because she's famous now. Why? Where are these dudes on social media? Just like how Kelly.
But that's probably how they figured out that she. I mean, obviously, they're not just throwing it out there. Hey, Cardi B, we think you used to rob people. We're coming up with that. Obviously, someone told this documentarian or whatever.
But why can't they bring it? Why can't they? Well, I get it.
Well, because it's a woman. And we're going to protect the woman because I guess.
Because she's right.
Yeah. Well, look. I understand. I understand what you're saying. And I like I'm saying, I just admitted to if someone robbed the store, I don't really care if. But it's the fact that you're using.
What about if it was you?
You're robbing me?
Yeah.
Oh no.
What about if we're in New York? Okay.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Oh no.
Somebody comes up to us and robs us and say, "Hey man, like I have no money to feed my family."
That's a different story. Well, it's a different story. But I'm not gonna my vendetta on life is not gonna be to go get that person back if they explain to me later that was the only way. I'm gonna be like, whatever.
You ain't robbing.
It's like, I'm not a store.
They go rob you, and then 10 minutes. Hey man, I'm sorry, I had to feed my kids.
I also.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hey,
he robs me and then gives me his number after.
Yeah.
Call me if you want to know.
Call me if you want to know.
Oh my god, dude.
But I'm talking about. I mean, if you mug, see, this is where I get myself in trouble because I say something horrible.
Yeah.
And then I complain about someone doing something horrible, and then they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, you just said
You
that."
just said that, man.
And when this podcast,
I
they're gonna pull all of these audio clips from us.
And
I never said that.
that is why, although I don't like it, I'm called Hypocritical Nick.
Yeah.
Because I say
Hypocritical
stupid
Nick.
shit like that. Okay, but I think we can all agree that it's not okay with what Cardi B is doing. But, for example, I know it's not with kids, but when R. Kelly and Michael Jackson do it, they're the devil himself.
Yeah.
And then when Cardi B does it, it's like, tough pass.
We're cutting her slack, to be honest.
I think Cardi B, but like I was saying, we know what type of person we're loving when we're talking about Cardi B. She's honest about she's
stripper
sketchy.
She's a stripper, though.
She's sketchy. We know she's got sketchy. I mean, there's been so many allegations that's come out against her that's proved that she's has some sketchy
what
history.
other things though?
Like when I think when her husband was it Quavo. Apparently when he was he got into it with chicks, he cheated on her with some chicks. She went over there and threatened them and stuff like that.
But that's totally.
She's gotten into a Nicki Minaj fight with Nicki Minaj.
That's not drugging. That's just the thug life, though.
That's just more of an altercation between those two.
That's not far away from. That's not far away from the life she was living, though. I would think as a stripper. I'm just saying. Who knows? Because when you're a stripper in the Bronx, you're probably coming in contact with all sorts of people. Politicians, people who sell drugs, crime lords, all those dudes. Like, this isn't like, I'm not talking about Marvel, Netflix, Luke Cage shit. I'm talking about real life. I'm talking about real life. This is probably what's happening. So I wouldn't be surprised if she was involved in that. Maybe she sold drugs at one point or something like that.
Which is fine. But using drugs to take advantage of
where is she
somebody
gonna get those drugs?
Is as close to Bill Cosby as you can get.
It's awful. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But
Bill Cosby is going to go to prison for this. Cardi B
is going to make another album that's going to
go
number one.
Is going to profit from.
The Grammys.
The only thing
Grammy from it.
The only thing that I can probably say to people out there who actually don't seem to agree with what Cardi did, or people defending her or whatever, I have a suggestion. Just don't buy her albums. Just don't listen to her. I mean, it's just, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I probably will still listen to her music because I've listened to Chris Brown's music after he beat the shit out of Rihanna.
Yeah. I mean,
a
lot of people.
Because it's good stuff. But I'm not going to go and go to his concert. And I'm not, I may throw in $1 or whatever to his thing. But it's like, I'm not going to follow the guy religiously. I'm not going to follow him on social media. I'm not going to give him. If I met the guy in real life, I'd probably confront him.
It's just and as far as the stripping thing goes, her being as a stripper, look, I get it. You need to make money and all that, but like you said, Nick, there is a line, that she crossed. There are people out there who actually need to, pay off their tuition, or they need to pay off their, their debts and their rent and all that. Just but it's just no excuse for her to even do that. But
hey, I've been in some tough situations in life before too, and I've never stolen anything, robbed anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I mean, and I'm not advocating what Cardi B in any way, shape, or form. I'm not saying that she was in the right. She was totally in the wrong in this, and she deserves whatever criticism is coming to her. But I'm just saying, hood rats gonna be hood rats. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, quick question.
and Cardi B's a hood rat. Honestly,
hood rat.
And quick question.
And that's okay. If she lives up to it, and she's okay with saying I'm a hood rat.
Okay, so
she did apologize. Because Harvey Weinstein and Bill Cosby never apologized.
No.
Right.
She came right out. She got right out on it.
Okay, with Harvey Weinstein, either two things can happen with Harvey Weinstein. One, he does it again, or two, he gets shot. All right, that's the thing with.
Well, no, I think he goes to prison. Could be the third thing.
Yeah, third thing
he
too.
He gets shot in prison.
He did get beat up. He did get beat up, and I think he's still in Phoenix too.
Oh, yeah.
Which is funny because one of the times I went out to Phoenix to kind of celebrate a birthday. No, we went to a bar, and we actually found out that the day prior he had been slapped by someone at that bar.
Oh, yeah.
And so he probably wasn't going to be around that area anymore so I missed him by one day. I'd probably slap the shit out of Harvey Weinstein if I saw him right now, especially if I was drinking too.
Every woman would probably slap the shit.
Yeah.
He just walks past a woman, slap, slap,
Exactly.
slap, slap, slap.
Dude, that guy should be like exiled from the U.S.
I mean, but that's what prison is. I mean,
That's prison.
Yeah. But so, all right, we need to move on though.
Right.
You know, just want to call out Cardi B. Yeah, I called out the kids from Newport Beach.
Yeah.
Especially now, Newport Beach ain't in my fondest memories just due to certain things. But that you know, I've called out other people, and I don't want to do Ryan rants. I don't want to complain, but there are some things that I feel like I can get my voice out on.
Right.
That if I just tweet, I just sounds like I have Twitter
Nick
fingers. If I
shoots.
go on a podcast and
just Nick shoots.
No, it's a Nick's random segment, so it could be me talking about my dog, or it could be me, you know, calling for Cardi B to go to prison or whatever. But so we're gonna move on. We're gonna start this portion of our WrestleMania predictions, and we will do because we have, you know, at least probably about 45 minutes left on this podcast, so we can't go too long with the kind of mid card,
14
lower
matches.
card.
We can go 7 and 7.
Well, no, because I think a lot of the main ones we're going to talk about longer. So I think we should just get the ones out of the way
That we don't care about.
Well, then we just kind of because I really don't. I mean, there are some matches on this card that are. There's actually 13. I was looking at WrestleMania 34.
Yeah, I was like, what?
Yeah, I mean, like the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, like that's great, and the SNL guys being in it is actually really entertaining for me because I don't know what that's going to be. I mean,
I don't like SNL, and I don't like these dudes.
I don't like SNL either, which is why I'm glad they're in it because I want to see Braun Strowman clothesline the hell of it.
I don't want to see it.
So
I care less.
You know, and then we cruiserweight match. Right, it's gonna be entertaining to watch, but who cares? I don't really care who wins. I think you guys, the tag team women's match it's gonna be great for Beth Phoenix to be in, but it's a 4-way match. They just wanted to get a bunch of the Diva tag teams
and
in.
I was really hoping we would get not Beth Phoenix, Trish Stratus and Lita.
That would have been too see-through though. They can't make this WrestleMania that see-through, which they've done a good job.
But that's a matchup that maybe they're saving it for Evolution in October. But
Is there going to be an Evolution pay-per-view?
From what I heard, there's not.
What?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you guys because I heard something about that.
They're also
they're trying to get women on the Saudi show. Oh, and that's a question
That'd be
I want.
great,
You know what I wanted to ask you guys too about this? A lot of
Does
people
this
have been
matter for
speculating.
WrestleMania though?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Is the Saudi Arabia show gonna affect WrestleMania? Because it's in May. Do you think it's gonna affect WrestleMania?
Well,
a lot
no,
of
because
people
it's
are
in
asking
May.
this.
Well, it's in
That doesn't
May.
make any sense. It's in
Okay,
May.
so Daniel Bryan
More
didn't
like
want to
it's
go to
gonna-
Saudi Arabia last year, so
More
we
like
should
it's
pretty much
it's gonna rival Double or Nothing. I can see that, but I don't see it like.
So you don't think it's gonna affect the card right now with WrestleMania?
Well, how would it? It's after WrestleMania. What are you thinking?
I'm
though?
not. I'm hearing what other people are saying, but I don't necessarily know. I just think apparently with so many people backing out of the Saudi show because of various human rights issues.
You're saying WrestleMania might be better because of that? I think WrestleMania might be better because they're not going to do some big thing in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard people say, well, maybe Saudi could affect it, but I'm like, I don't know.
That's in 2 months. Yeah.
It's in May.
But that's like Double or Nothing. That's
It's
like saying
kinda
Double
like-
or
'cause you
Nothing.
remember last
That's
year-
like saying Double or Nothing's going to affect.
Hold on. You remember last year
It's
when,
not.
when Roman Reigns lost and then immediately after they announced he was facing Brock Lesnar as that Saudi show? That's kind of like how people are like relating it to.
What I see the Saudi show as is, although the Miz Shane storyline actually is built off one of the Saudi shows.
That's just one.
I do see them as like glorified house shows. Like I just still see them as like, hey, we're gonna put AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. We're gonna put
Super Showdown.
Exactly. They're glorified house shows that American fans don't really need to care about. You might want to watch it or at least look into it and see what happens with the main matches, but most of it is not going to matter.
Yeah.
Usually titles don't change at these shows too, so I mean.
No, exactly. Yeah. But the Shane Miz thing is a direct result of that Saudi show. What happened at the Saudi show? It is. That's where the storyline
That's like
started.
the only match.
Yeah. So.
All right, let's talk about WrestleMania, y'all.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so let's just get those predictions over with. Who do we see winning the Andre the Giant Battle Royal? As far as right now goes, there's only a men's.
Braun Strowman.
Strowman. I'm going to go with,
You know,
I don't even know who's in the
I don't-
Andre
yeah,
the
I don't even
Giant.
we
who's
don't
in
know.
it, too.
We don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know who either. So it is kind of tough to predict. You know,
Just pick a random
I
jobber,
know.
bro.
Who
Sure.
could I see? What am I wasting my time for? Braun Strowman's gonna win this match.
Like, why are we wasting time right now?
yeah.
We're wasting time. We can talk about the big matches.
Exactly. Let me just write this down on my computer real quick. You can hear it. There's our dead air.
The dead air. Yeah.
All right, so cruiserweight match: Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. Don't know anything about Tony Nese.
I don't know
going into this
anything.
match.
Yeah, I don't know much about Tony.
Buddy Murphy's Alexa Bliss's husband. Buddy Murphy's winning.
And she's the okay, but here's something. So Tony Nese is from New York. I got Tony Nese.
I got Tony. Yeah.
I've
Change
got
your
Buddy
opinion?
Murphy. I
He's-
got Buddy Murphy.
Yeah.
You know why? I got
I
Buddy
don't know
Murphy.
why
because
you're putting
Why?
all in the line in the cruiserweight match.
because the
Stupid,
WrestleMania
man.
because in New York, like they never want the hometown favorite to win their matchup in the WWE.
Yeah, but
they never win.
Yeah, but buddy, he's had that cruiserweight title for what?
It's
Since,
why the Montreal Screwjob happened.
I guess.
Hart didn't want to
Yeah.
lose it in Canada.
Okay. Well, you're putting it on the line. I guarantee you're gonna lose, Mr. Perfect over there. I gotta make sure I'm winning this one. I'm beating him this time.
No. And we're gonna be doing live results in the stadium
Yeah.
because we're gonna be there. So
I may be able to beat him in
Yeah.
2K19 or UFC 3, but I so far have not beaten him in this. So I'm beating him.
I beat all y'all.
Settle shot.
I beat
at
y'all
Eric.
twice,
Yeah.
so.
A little shot at me.
All right, come on. Next one.
Okay, so let's do the tag team women's match. We're going. So it's Boston Hug versus. Why don't I have it up right now?
Boston Hug versus
Divas.
Tamina and Nia Jax.
Yeah.
Which don't deserve to be in the match. The Iconics
of nowhere.
and the Divas of Doom. Beth Phoenix.
Jesus.
Can we
Natalia.
just not comment on that? Just,
Why-
let's just we don't need to comment on that. Beth Phoenix looked hella good.
Type of stuff
in
that
the-
make
in
me
the
hate
ring.
wrestling sometimes.
Yeah, the
Jeez.
Boston Hug connection. Excuse me, Beth Phoenix.
Oh, that
looked-
name sucks too.
They looked hella good in the ring the other day, beating up Nia and Tamina.
Yeah.
I do think the Iconics are actually going to win this match.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Your favorite tag team, right?
So after, again, there's the hypocritical moment, that second hypocritical moment.
the
I give
women they-
RKJ man shit for his opinion,
Yeah.
and I pick the Iconics. I'm going the Iconics.
Oh my god.
Oh man, how should? You know what? I'm probably gonna go with an upset. Jax and Tamina.
Now we're just
Oh, that's
doing.
not that-
Now
Yeah,
we're just
I'm
picking
gonna-
random stuff so it
No,
can be different.
I gotta
No.
think. I gotta really think about this. Like, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Jax and Tamina.
Who are you
because-
going with?
I'm going with Boston Hug Connection,
This is
man.
going to be a big match for
They're
us,
not
guys.
losing
Yeah.
that. They're not losing that
Okay,
championship,
yeah.
man.
We're putting it out there, man.
They need to lose that championship against somebody who's credible. You think, like literally 2 months after their first real title defense at WrestleMania, they're gonna lose it? That makes no sense.
I mean, it's
It makes no sense. Let's move forward to matches that we actually care
well,
about.
okay, so let's go. What other match do we probably not care about as much? Bobby Lashley versus Finn Balor.
The
Finn
demon.
Balor, all I know is if he doesn't come out like the demon, that's when we're gonna begin our descent down to the ring. That's what I'm.
Now, what are we going to do if we get down there?
I don't.
Yeah.
We're pulling off all our clothes, and we're gonna have the ring generals. All we got is the
Well,
ring generals.
okay, we don't have to pull off all of it.
I'm just gonna have the ring generals t-shirt
I mean,
on.
we
I
will
mean-
more than likely have new merch for that show.
Yeah.
Nonetheless,
Yeah.
I'm definitely not
We're gonna blow
stripping
up.
down in 45-degree weather. That's not.
That ain't us, man.
I've been to Boston when it's 25 degrees. It's not. It's the
Dude.
same
All
area.
right, so Finn or Lashley?
Finn, Demon Finn Balor is winning, and I hope we can get some type of appearance by the Undertaker at some point throughout
Nah, I
the
don't
night.
see that.
But
I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I
Demon,
can't.
first WrestleMania I go to, don't see the Undertaker. Like first WrestleMania I go to, we missed the Undertaker.
And he didn't show up at the Raw we went to too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's just BS, man. It's
I'm
bullshit.
gonna have to go with.
Like I really want to go to the
yeah.
because Bobby will say that when Undertaker's entrance hit, it gets 10 degrees colder.
The Undertaker?
Yeah,
Uh,
Did
the,
it get cold?
the air or us.
I don't know, but did it get cold? When,
I know what you're talking about.
At WrestleMania
That and let's say if The Rock came out, yes, it does technically get colder when those guys come out.
I'm gonna have to go.
There's
with,
some shrinkage
yeah,
for sure.
I'm gonna have to go with Balor. Yeah.
I'm also gonna go with Balor. I
Yeah.
think they've been kind of promoting this as Bobby Lashley. I mean, is Finn Balor trying to beat the odds with this storyline? So I think he will, and he'll win. And it's a good way.
he's gonna
for-
have to pull out all the stops.
He's a
and
fan
that means
favorite, so I don't think,
that means the
what?
demon.
I don't actually think the Demon will come out.
He's on the promotional poster.
Is he?
Yeah. The Demon.
What promotional poster?
For WrestleMania 35.
Imagine
But
they
that's
just
not
imagine they swerve. They just swerve and say that, hey, Finn, last minute, you're not gonna be the Demon.
Yeah.
I mean, Finn's cool with it, whatever,
Go
man.
to AEW.
Finn is the ultimate settler. He
15
settles
seconds
and
before.
he's okay.
Based on these WrestleMania storylines, we'll know which guys are going to AEW.
Yeah, he's
or not.
the freaking.
pretty much.
If Finn's not the AEW.
All I know is this. If
Yeah.
I
Okay,
was,
can I change my opinion? I think Dean Ambrose wins the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
He's in it.
Yeah. Well, what else is he
dude,
in?
if
Right.
Asuka, by the way, if I was Asuka,
Oscar wins the Andre the
if
Giant
I was
Battle Royal.
Asuka, yeah, if I was Asuka, I would be knocking on Cody Rhodes and Brandy Ward's door right now.
But she's just another. I'm not trying to be racist with saying this, but she is just another Japanese wrestler that would go over there and just be a Japanese wrestler. Asuka has not gotten over with the WWE fans. She got over with the NXT. Indie
She's
fans.
very popular with the fans, but she's popular because of her moveset. She's not popular.
She's popular
because of her,
because she had a winning streak. And then once her
she's
winning
not-
streak were over, we're like, oh, okay, she's just not. I mean,
Yeah.
she misses a lot of her moves. She's not. I mean, for me, she's a
popular
boring
for her
superstar.
moveset. She's not popular for the fact that she can talk. That's probably why they're going with Charlotte Flair, is because Charlotte Flair can hold her own. They can't put Asuka on Sports Center though. I was thinking about this. I was like, man, it makes sense now why they picked Charlotte Flair over her. 'Cause
You put Asuka on Sports Center, they're gonna be like, what did you just say?
Yeah.
You know?
And
You're gonna have
like,
to have like a translator.
I'm not trying. She can't speak English.
and
very
we're not
well.
trying to be racist by
Yeah.
saying this too. It's the
But
facts.
there is a marketability thing. Like you're not seeing Ichiro, for example, the last 10 years. Nobody's saying Ichiro was the best player of all time. So Ichiro doesn't speak English well. Still, we're talking about Mike Trout. We're talking about Aaron Judge. We're talking about these guys that could speak English in an English-speaking primarily country. So the WWE is an English company, an English-speaking company primarily. So most of their big stars have been people that could speak very, very good English.
Well, I mean,
Just look at history.
I like Asuka a lot. I really do. I don't think she deserved to lose that matchup on Tuesday night. I think it's a bunch of BS. But the fact of the matter remains is that, my biggest criticism with the WWE is why are we putting her in a situation to talk if we know she can't talk? If you know that's not her strength, put her with somebody.
Exactly.
And they didn't do it, and
Put her with Funaki.
I guess
Funaki.
SmackDown's number one announcer. But like
Kung Funaki.
but like all they're trying to do right now is just they're building her down, and she's way too nice in my opinion. They're taking advantage of her niceness. They're taking advantage of her in my opinion. If a Bruce Pritchard comes up to me, a Vince McMahon comes up to me and says, hey, 12 days before WrestleMania, you may not have a match because we want you to lose the title tonight and that to involve that other storyline, I'd have been like, F off. I would have been like, F off. Like, I would have done it the corporate America way, but I would have been like, F off. Because the fact of the matter remains, Asuka should not be losing the title 12 days before WrestleMania. And now we're talking about predictions. We don't even know if Asuka is going to be on the card, y'all. We don't even know. And if she is, it's going to be in a meaningless battle royal match.
To be honest, I've never liked the fact that people were just put on the card. Like, if she
But
is.
people like Asuka deserve to be put on the card.
What has she done?
She tapped out Becky Lynch at the
a good
Royal
point.
Rumble.
That's a good point.
Everybody's
See, that's
forgotten
where-
that.
Well,
Everybody, she
and remember,
beat-
we're doing these predictions. I mean,
With
hell,
no help.
Hell, Asuka
Yeah.
Asuka could win back that title this Tuesday. I mean,
Like a last-minute
that technically
thing?
could happen, and then Becky Lynch screws her, and then it made Charlotte look good,
Yeah.
and Asuka's put back over or something like that. Somewhat, I don't think the SmackDown Women's Championship is getting defended at WrestleMania.
By the way, wasn't there supposed to be a Fatal 4 number 1 contenders match, and they just completely scrapped that, didn't they?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe there'll now be a fatal 5-way at WrestleMania or something. The winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royal gets the secondary women's title.
That's all it is. That's all there is for.
It's like
everybody.
winning. It's like going for the
By the
UFC
way,
Heavyweight Championship
by the way,
and winning the
F the
Bellator.
brand split. By the way, once again, they're shitting on it. They have They're shitting on the brand split situation here. We've had multiple superstars. We've had Shelton Benjamin, who was on SmackDown, appear on Raw randomly to beat up Seth Rollins. We've had Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair.
Well, around WrestleMania time, even in the past, there was like brand mixing up.
It wasn't last year.
There still is a brand split, but there's there's definitely gonna be a brand split in October, too. I mean,
It wasn't last year.
when they have Fox takeover SmackDown, there's literally two different companies running the two shows. There's definitely going to be a brand split. I just think with right now they're trying to
Just promote WrestleMania.
give us the best possible opponents, and Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble and had the right to pick the Raw Women's Champion. The Raw Women's Champion was way more worthy of being picked.
I can understand Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch going from show to show because they're involved in the storyline with Ronda. Where I'm upset
and Samoa Joe went over to face Kurt Angle, but that's a special thing. And
it's kind of like in 2008 with Ric Flair, right? With Ric Flair was on his farewell too.
There was a lot of guys
because Shawn Michaels went over to SmackDown one random match in a tag team match. Ric Flair.
But Vince is on both shows. I mean,
Vince owns the company.
Yeah. No.
I guess. I mean, it's WrestleMania season. We'll see. But I mean, I don't know.
If they do a superstar shakeup, the brand split still. I mean,
they got no other choice to do it because Fox doesn't want to promote Raw because they're literally two different companies.
I know. Yeah, it should be actually really interesting after WrestleMania to see what happens.
Fox wants it to be Attitude Era. They want it to be PG-14. They want blood.
Let's go.
They want UFC.
Well, let's go.
UFC. It's crazy. I might actually have to start watching wrestling on
Friday
Friday nights again.
Where is that first SmackDown on Fox?
Dude,
if it's in the vicinity, I want to go.
Right? That's a great question.
You don't want to see a new product of wrestling, essentially?
I mean,
who cares about AEW? I want to see the new SmackDown, man. That's what we're talking about. There actually is going to be a new thing.
Oh, by the way,
SmackDown on Fox is new.
You want to hear something funny? I was listening to Eric Bischoff. Sure, I know it's off topic. I was listening to Eric Bischoff, 83 Weeks, and he said that potentially. Remember when I was telling you how CBS and TNT Turner had this relationship, sort of? CBS was going to buy TBS potentially. They were going to buy him back in the day, I think, when they were going to buy him sometime in the 90s.
Oh, they were going to buy Turner?
Yeah, they were going to buy TBS. They were going to buy TBS. And I guess the deal didn't go through or whatnot. And I thought that was funny because CBS
makes sense. CBS, TBS.
CBS.
All right, get back to WrestleMania.
Yeah, okay, so enough about, I don't even know how we get on a conversation. But, okay, so let's move on to, let's see what else we can talk about before we kind of want to jump on some of the bigger storylines. Well, we talked about Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin in his farewell match. What do we expect to happen?
I don't really care.
Who do we actually expect to win this match?
Angle.
I mean, if John Cena's not going to show up for this match, then let Angle win. Nobody cares about Baron Corbin.
I think Angle will win,
He's a complete waste of time.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The fact that Corbin and the fact that he's beaten the Chad Gable, or whoever he's faced, I forget. I think he'll actually win. If he would have lost to, say, AJ Styles on SmackDown, I would have been like, Corbin's winning.
That was really weird, though.
Well, I think he's gonna have a match with Randy Orton this Tuesday. I think that, and I'm down for that.
Oh yeah, he's having a match.
Because that's the last kind of guy you could do that would make me be like, oh, I actually want to watch this.
If it's not John Cena
on SmackDown,
yeah.
I'm down, but why give that SmackDown crowd that treat? I'm just saying.
Why give 15 people in the crowd
that treat?
Yeah.
I want to see that match. F that SmackDown crowd. But so, we'll do. We'll do all think Kurt will win. I'm gonna cheer for Kurt. I want Kurt to win too.
Have we picked different?
Baron Corbin is an Arizona Cardinal, but why did I click on that? Okay, so let's see what else we can get to before we jump into Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. That's not going to be the most. Are you guys surprised that Cien Almas doesn't have any?
I think he's going to be in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
He's going to be.
Or what it could happen is Cien Almas could show up and do something to Dominique, which could Dominic, I'm sorry. Dominic, which could affect, I'm sorry, man.
Butchering the English language.
Whatever. Which could affect, hey, you said a lot of crappy things today, too. Which could affect.
Could be rapist.
Oh, okay. All right. But which could affect Rey Mysterio and could cause Samoa Joe to win. So I'm picking Samoa Joe to win this match because of Andrade.
Okay.
I'm going to have to go with Joe on this one. He's still the title.
I think Joe wins too. I do actually think somehow this gets made into a triple threat match. And I think that Cien Almas actually will be added in this match. But regardless, I think Joe. So we all think Joe wins.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Joe wins. Okay. And then so let's see. What else do you think is
How many matches we got so far?
Well, we've talked about Lashley, Balor, Rey Mysterio, Samoa Joe, Andre the Giant. Boss Hug Connection, Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese, Kurt Angle versus. So we have because obviously we're going to say Brock and Rousey and.
Oh, Reigns and McIntyre?
Let's talk about that. Yeah, but there's not much to that either. I mean, this just seems like a match. I think think Roman goes over.
Oh,
Right?
Roman's going
Roman's
over.
going
He's
over.
not coming back to WrestleMania after leukemia and losing.
Yeah,
It's not gonna happen.
I think he'll win too. Although I don't think he should, because I think Drew McIntyre is way better than him at this point.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
don't think they would make sense.
Do you think Drew McIntyre gets a reaction from the crowd? Do you think the crowd cares about him?
Well, he
Yeah,
gets
no,
he gets a
he's
heel.
He's a monster. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think he's a.
He's got a cool theme song too. I
Oh,
like.
he
it.
does.
He's
yeah,
a very good on the mic, very intimidating. He's in my opinion, like 1 or 2 top heel in the company.
By the way, when will we see Lacey Evans during this WrestleMania? When do you predict we'll see Lacey Evans? Was she interrupting Elias?
oh,
again.
Is
Who's
there-
interrupting
by the way, is there-
Elias?
The Rock.
I
Maybe?
would love for The Rock to come.
The
back.
Rock.
But
I mean,
But he's
if
too
The
busy.
Rock,
He
if
said
The Rock
what,
comes
what
out,
he said a quote the other day on one of the shows where I was like, "Oh, this Elias
they al-
segment's gonna be dope."
They
Whatever it's gonna be.
always leave it open for The Rock. They always every WrestleMania they pull it out there. Hey, Rock, you want to come back?
After
I'm
this
too
podcast,
busy.
I'm unfollowing The Rock so he doesn't give anything away too. I gotta unfollow The Rock on
he's
social
not gonna
media.
give. He's not gonna give anything.
He
away.
did once.
What did he do?
I think he. What did he do? He gave away. There was like he posted a picture on Instagram or something when he was at the last WrestleMania he was at, and it kind of gave away what was gonna happen.
It was 30, right? It was 30.
Wasn't it 20?
32.
It was 32.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah, it was
he had Matt.
32. Oh shoot, I didn't watch 32.
It gave away that
I
they
didn't
were.
watch it.
It gave away they were like practicing some like segment, so I knew there was gonna be some BS. And I guess it was pretty, but it doesn't matter. But yeah, so maybe The Rock with Elias. But so we all thinking Roman wins this match.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Roman.
Roman.
Roman
Roman
Reigns
He's winning.
wins. And then are there any? Okay, so let's take the break. Let's do your segment, then we'll do Eric's.
Mine's is gonna be really quick. Don't have much time, but
Yep.
I just want to talk really quickly about hypocritical Nikki Bella. So we see her on the season finale of Total Bellas crying about how if she saw John Cena, which we're going to talk about with another woman, it would kill her. But guess who struck first in this couple battle? It would be Nikki Bella, because she came out the next day on social media kissing on her new, new boyfriend in a way.
New
They're
boyfriend.
dating. They're not together yet, but we can just assume that they're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend in the future. Artem. And I'm not going to say his last name because I've been butchering the English language all over the
Artem
place today.
Chidvintsev. It's not that hard.
I'm not saying that. All right. Anyway, the fact
Say
of
Khabib's
the
last name. Say Khabib's last name.
No, I'm not saying
You're
his
marking
last
that
name.
off. It's not that hard.
Hey, my segment, my rules. So look, the fact of the matter is this, man. Why do these hypocritical women got to go out here on social media and always claim that we want to be empowered and then be hypocritical about it on social media? Why? It doesn't make any sense why she would say that and then the next day go out on social media.
What the hell are you showing, man? Holy shit, dude. Oh shit.
Okay. Oh my God.
It's a picture of a metaphorically fat Nikki Bella.
oh my
Oh
God.
my god, man. Damn.
Oh, we got more. Wait a minute.
Oh, shit.
Oh my God. Oh.
Is this Lacey Evans?
Oh my
no, it's
God.
Carmella.
Where's Shallow Hal?
Oh, my
Okay,
goodness.
look,
Oh, my goodness.
look. The fact of the
Priscilla
matter is
Kelly.
this. The fact of the matter is this. Nikki Bella, on the outside, you might be a pretty woman. Yeah, you might be a cool person, but your personality sucks. The fact of the matter is this, man. I could see why John Cena didn't marry you. Because the fact of the matter remains is that you've yet to show the maturity of a grown woman, and you're almost 40. It doesn't make sense. Grow up. Mature, okay? Because guess what? We're tired of Total Bella's BS. I'm the RKJ man, and I'm always shooting my shot for greatness.
Hypocritical Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
I actually gave you that name the other day, remember?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. You stole his gimmick.
Sometimes
I don't think I could ever get that fat Nikki Bella picture.
Well, I had another one.
Should I post that on the podcast? Should I
Actually,
post
I
it?
said something else, but I'm not going to say it on the
Well,
podcast.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're gonna say.
But the
said
fact
it
of the matter remains, it's like we wasted a WrestleMania for this. Like WrestleMania 33, you know how there's some matches that got changed around and all that stuff.
That's
I
true.
heard Undertaker and Cena were supposed to, and then Vince told him. Vince allegedly said, "Hey, look, why don't you just
if that's
propose for
true,
the-"
Yeah.
I'm pissed. And John Cena, you better be with the hot woman too.
it's debatable.
Well, I don't know what your taste in women are, RKJ man, but
Not what Nick John Cena's going out with.
I don't. I mean, hey, if the man's happy, the man's
yeah.
my
happy.
taste
He's
in
happy.
my taste in women's a lot different now, so I probably shouldn't even speak.
I don't know.
yeah, it just
I
depends
don't
on the
know.
taste, man.
All right, it's a great transition to Eric's indie update.
Okay, so I would say breaking news. Remember when Jimmy Uso was arrested?
Oh
Remember?
yeah.
Yeah. So you know what he's actually gonna what's actually gonna happen to him? According to TMZ.com, which whatever. Jimmy Uso has been punished for his actions, but it's not much of a punishment at all. While Uso was facing jail time if convicted of disorderly conduct, he and his attorney, John Freeman, struck a plea deal with the prosecutors where he agreed to plead no contest to interfering with a government employee. In exchange for the plea, he was ordered to pay $450 in fines. And that's it.
What is this guy, Jesse Smollett? Come on, man. What is that? I mean,
He's a Samoan Jussie. Samoan Jussie is the name of this podcast.
Huge win for Jimmy Uso this time around,
Jussie.
obviously.
Samoan Jussie.
Oh my God.
God, this is supposed to be the WrestleMania predictions, and somehow we're gonna turn this into Cardi B and Jesse Smollett, of course.
Yeah. But I thought he was going to be on Ryan Rants, but
Was that the news you were talking about?
So yeah, I was going to talk, and I knew you guys were going to.
I can't believe that BS, man.
Good. Hey, you know what though? Maybe
It really does pay to be a celebrity, man.
Come on, man. That's why we're trying to get this podcast famous. I want to do whatever I want.
Yeah. So for bare knuckle fighting, Artem Labov thinks that Conor McGregor is a true fighter. He loves the fight game, so bare knuckle that would suit him right down to the ground.
That's a great point.
Not big enough
One
platform.
fight, but that
If they paid him, sure.
That's true. Yeah, I could see him doing one fight.
Yeah.
One fight.
Yeah, one big fight deal.
Yeah.
But it's got to be big. It's got to be a big name in bare knuckle, and I don't know.
Could be
Could be.
Nate Diaz.
And bare knuckle?
Brock
Yeah.
Lesnar.
All right, Eric.
Are there
Damn it.
are there weight classes? Oh
I think
no!
there's-
Wait, who's supposed to join bare knuckle? Paulie
Malignaggi,
Malignaggi.
yeah.
Who did he get in a fight with outside the Mayweather fight? Paulie Malignaggi.
Malignaggi.
There's your fight right there.
Okay.
Look,
There's your fight right there.
let's move on with Eric's segment because there's something I want to ask him about if he doesn't cover, and you know what I'm thinking, Eric.
Okay.
You know the person I'm talking about.
Okay. AAA, Cain Velasquez participates
That's what I'm
in this
talking
year's Triple Mania. He confronted Psycho Clown, Tejano Jr.,
Psycho Clown,
and Pentagon Jr. or Pentagon Dark.
What is clown in Spanish?
Payaso.
Now, what's psycho in Spanish?
Loco.
Local
yeah,
payaso?
Loco payaso, then.
Or
that's
or
being
crazy.
defeated.
Crazy is loco, but yeah, that's what it is.
Dude.
But Psycho
Bro,
is.
how racist was the Mexicools back in the day?
That's so
With
racist.
the
That was so
lawnmower.
What about,
racist,
what about crime time? What about crime
Yeah.
time?
He said it was racist. That's how you know it's racist.
What about crime time?
Well, Crime Time, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Crime time was cool though. I like crime time still though.
Crime time is cool. Yeah, no, but I mean, you have
Money,
You
money.
Have,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get that money,
yeah,
money.
They
Yeah.
Were probably those were the guys getting Cardi B'd in the
Yeah.
thing.
Pretty much.
For those crime time.
All right, Eric, we're
Yeah.
hijacking.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry,
yeah.
bro.
It's all good. So Cain Velasquez, I'm not sure if it's just a one-time thing, but there was a picture of Cain Velasquez with a mask. So who knows? He might get himself involved in the matches or just, be a host, I guess, for Triple Mania.
Interest is gonna be via RIP,
Yep.
YouTube.
Well, hopefully. So I'm pretty sure you guys saw that story on Instagram about Alberto Del Rio, or should I say El Patron. He's with Combate Americas. So you can catch that on Univision Deportes, and DAZN. Next event is in April. So yeah, he's been all over the place, Del Rio, in that organization of MMA. So yeah, be sure to be on the lookout for that. AEW, Kenny Omega has a documentary out. So if you ever get the chance to, check out the documentary that Kenny Omega released. So yeah, it seems interesting. And oh boy, here's another one. Our good buddy Sonny is back in jail for violating
Our good buddy Sonny.
her parole related to 2016 arrests. 3 cases of drunk driving. Court hearing is scheduled for April 5th. And that's the day when we're going to wrestle. Well, we're going to be in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, she's not watching WrestleMania.
Yeah, I mean, Sonny's just a... By the way, the Angels just lost
Oh yeah.
their first game of the season. Got shut out.
Let's not talk about the Angels.
Good start.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Dream match.
F 'em.
Dream match of the day. So I actually thought about this match. Kurt Angle, him having these last few matches with Samoa Joe, Apollo Crews, Gable, all those guys. I also thought about not just matches with Kurt Angle that potential matches that I actually want him. Like Bret Hart, maybe Owen Hart. At the time, but I thought of another guy too, and I think this would probably be like WrestleMania worthy. Kurt Angle versus Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Oh, that'd be a good.
Great
one.
match. Great match.
That'd be a good one. I don't have one because we're at kind of time constraints. I can just I'll do we'll do we did a big segment last week, so I took up a lot of the the ones from last week. That was
The
good.
March Madness bracket.
Check that out, by the way.
Skype session,
Madness.
What was the one I said in the studio yesterday though?
In the studio?
Remember what I said? I did say there was a dream match that I don't remember.
I don't think. Is it from the MMA world?
He might have been.
I think so. Yeah, I think it might have been. Damn it, I'm trying to remember.
Whatever.
No,
it
I
doesn't
think so.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You have a dream match?
Nah.
How about Brock Lesnar versus Kurt Hennig in a plane match?
Oh yeah, about that that plane ride from hell.
That happened too.
It did.
Legit,
Yeah.
Brock did that too.
Yeah.
He did it on a.
I would have loved to have been on that plane ride. Nick
I would have been effed up on that
Nick
plane.
would have been right there with Ric Flair.
Pull my dick out.
All right, let's talk.
Okay, so let's get into the main storylines. We got about 20 minutes left, maybe a little more.
Less.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But
Gotta get to class. Bro.
Dodgers are up 11-2, by the way, if you're a Dodger fan, you're listening. So WrestleMania 35, we've talked about, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Bobby Lashley, Finn Balor, so on. So let's get to the main matches. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton.
Oh, man.
This is going to be more of a... There's obviously a good story. It's a pretty solid storyline behind this, but there's also the fact that these guys are great performers, and this is somewhat of a dream match too.
Yeah.
Well, who do we think wins? What happens?
I'm probably going to go with AJ Styles winning this one.
Okay.
Unless RKO.
This is a tough one. This is probably one of the tougher ones.
Yeah.
This is a really tough one for me. That's in the Shane McMahon Miz one is like the ones I'm
That's
like.
a good point. Yeah, too.
Yeah.
Give me in this matchup, Randy Orton.
Okay.
I'm going with Randy too.
RKO out of nowhere.
I just think they have to have, like we've been talking about, they have to have some heels win.
They have to have.
Yeah.
And
maybe
there's no reason for AJ Styles, like Randy Orton's Randy Orton technically has had a better career than AJ Styles.
Let
too, so
AJ
he probably
Styles
should
job
win.
out. That way he can go to Raw in the Superstar Shakeup. Because we all agree.
good point, too.
We all agree he needs to go to Raw, right? We all agree he should be going to Raw.
You know
be
what's funny?
interesting.
Either of these guys actually could go to Raw.
They probably both will go
Yeah.
to Raw, to be
So,
honest with you.
I would like to see Randy face some of the Raw guys, right? Like Seth Rollins
Yeah,
versus
why
Randy
not?
Orton would be a great match. Finn Balor, he could do stuff with Finn Balor. Bobby Lashley, you know what I'm saying? They do a lot. Drew McIntyre.
I guess what they're trying to do, and it's kind of like the previous brand split, is have those mainstays. You know how the Undertaker and Triple H are mainstays of their brand, and Shawn Michaels. Randy Orton's the mainstay to SmackDown. Brock Lesnar, mainstay of Raw. Or Roman Reigns, although he may go over to SmackDown.
He could now, like as I mentioned before, he could now because he's not like the top guy. So he could, when he was top guy, you probably want him on Raw with the Brock Lesnar stuff. But especially if Brock Lesnar loses, there's could be a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of shuffling going on after WrestleMania.
Exactly.
So we don't know.
No. Okay, so let's move on to Miz and Shane McMahon. This is a now announced a Falls Count Anywhere match, which surprised me. I did not expect that would happen. So this Falls Count Anywhere. Hopefully they get up into the upper deck where we're sitting. That's my dream. That's my dream match. Is
That'd
that
be great.
Miz? Shane McMahon versus the Miz. This has gotten pretty solidly built. Like I said, it's been built since the Saudi Arabia show for a while. So there's definitely a lot on the line. I personally do not want Shane McMahon to win just because they've done enough heel heat with Shane to where he's got his dad behind him. He's got all the security guards. Who do we think wins? I'll give my prediction first. I think Miz goes over. I think
Miz goes over.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eric?
You go first, man. I'm trying to think on this one.
Well, I want you to go first.
All right, fine. I'm gonna
Draw. No.
draw. Whatever. I'm gonna
Rock,
go
paper,
with,
scissors.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Miz on this one.
Miss.
Oh, we're all going Miz?
We're all going Miss.
Miz.
Okay, and either of you, since you didn't really know, want to just say Shane for the benefit of... 'Cause you didn't, it's not like you guys are coming out here with great analysis on this match.
We're not.
I think
because it's
I think Miz wins because I think his dad helps him out.
I
And
think
win.
Miz wins because they're trying to experiment with Miz being possibly a top face on SmackDown. He's also
definitely staying
like
on
a
top.
different
also
side.
he's
Yeah.
also got that show coming up on April 2nd with Miz and Mrs. that everybody. I love that show.
Yeah.
It's a great show, much better than Total Bella's Total.
I actually have never seen an
Divas.
episode before.
You need to watch
I'm
it.
going to catch up like during the summer.
It's
I'm gonna
very
have to- I'm gonna have to
refreshing.
check it
It's
out.
very
I'll
refreshing.
catch up during the
Completely
summer.
different. People are having fun.
The only reason I liked Total Bellas was the chance to like see them in bikinis and stuff. To be honest, Like
I mean, you like that season when what is it, Maurice and Eva Marie were always in bikinis or something?
Well,
like
and then Rosa Mendez was naked in the room once too.
Yeah.
Damn.
Just horn dog Nick over here, like
She kissed Paige one
enough.
time. All right,
Yeah,
let's see who else.
All right, let's move on. So we got what have we not talked about? Oh, Triple H and Batista. No holds barred. If Triple H loses, he must retire as a performer. What do we think
That
happens?
right there gives it away. Batista is losing this matchup. He's taking the fall.
I think, well, because the whole thing has been, if you go back to SmackDown 1000, Batista said you'd never beat me, so I think Triple H beats him.
And they had a face off.
Yeah, I think Triple H beats him.
Triple H goes over. Even if Triple H loses,
I hope they beat the hell out of each other.
They will. Even if Triple H loses, and then he quote unquote retires, he's gonna come back and wrestle, okay? Because he's done that before.
I mean,
he's retired.
I guess Triple H is already old. It's not like Shawn Michaels when he retired still could have gone for 5 more years. Triple H already doesn't look good in some of his matches. Like he bots for the Undertaker a lot.
Oh, he's slow
during
as hell.
that Super
That's
Show.
the problem.
Triple H is at the near end, so I wouldn't be completely surprised if Batista wins because maybe Triple H just wants to focus on being the next Vince McMahon. But this is a little different. I don't think he ever wrestles again if he loses this match. I disagree with that. I don't think he goes.
But
who'd you say? Oh, you said Triple H.
I said Triple H.
Yeah, Triple H wins. Okay,
Yeah.
so I hope that match is. I hope it's as brutal as I think it is too.
We all said Triple H, right?
Yeah. All right. So Brock Lesnar versus Seth Rollins for the Universal Championship. Not much build around this, to be honest.
That's because
Well, of course,
It's been solid build, but not like the best. But it's not the main event.
it's not the main event, and I think WWE's realizing that maybe Seth isn't that top guy. It just doesn't look
true.
credible. And remember when I was questioning it when he first won the Royal Rumble, I was like, I'm not convinced. He's not convincing me. And then they made him lose against Drew McIntyre a few weeks ago on Raw. Like, you have your Royal Rumble winner losing against Drew McIntyre. So why do I think you're credible to beat Brock Lesnar? I'm going with Brock Lesnar in this match.
Okay.
Who are you going with, Eric?
Even though
I would love to see Daniel Cormier, though.
Yeah, I mean, that could play a huge factor. I'm going to go with maybe Seth on this one. Yeah.
I'm going with Seth because I think someone like Dean Ambrose is going to interfere. And that will be Dean Ambrose's lasting.
I think it's time to let Dean Ambrose go.
Well, no, but this is literally the last. But that's what I'm saying. If his lasting moment is, I think, winning the Battle Royal and then coming out and helping Seth
his
win.
ultimate redemption.
That's his ultimate. It's just
his
like
way out.
Exactly. So that's why I think Seth will win. If it's a normal match, nothing happens. There's no way Seth wins.
It's
There's
time.
no way.
It's time for Dean to ride off in the sunset. It's time for him to go to AEW. Like, we all know that's probably on his radar after.
Or bare knuckle fighting, whichever one he wants to do.
Which, I mean, I think he can go.
Yeah, I could see this match going both ways, though. I agree.
Yeah.
I could see Lesnar winning. I just said I'm going to pick Seth because I don't think they want the title on Lesnar anymore. So I think they'll just make Seth win somehow.
The main event.
Yeah. Well, 2 main events. Daniel Bryan versus Kofi. How could you forget about this?
I forgot.
Come on, man.
Co-main event.
forget?
Well, it's just
Co-main event.
First of all, how hype was that New Day tag team gauntlet match? I was like, I did not know if they were going to win that match. So I was hyped when they won. I was like, let's go.
When the Usos came out, that was great.
I was like, oh man, the Usos are going to
Kill them.
Yeah, I was like,
they're gonna kill them.
there's
they were gonna
no way
kick
they
their
beat
ass.
the Usos.
Yeah.
Like this is so, and then the Usos did the thing, which makes sense too.
Like, we fought wars against you guys. We're not going to face you
They were
guys.
like,
We forfeit.
if you guys go out and don't job to New Day, Jimmy, you're gonna have to pay a lot more than $450.
You're going to have to pay $1,000.
Yeah,
$1,000.
you get suspended. You're not gonna be in WrestleMania. Yeah, they actually don't have a WrestleMania match. That also could be somewhat.
Which is
that
why I
could be
don't
a
get.
punishment too.
I thought they were facing
Same
the
with
Hardy
Naomi.
Boys. The Hardy Boys.
Are they facing the Hardy Boys?
I thought they were facing.
see any of that.
I don't
Well,
see
there was
that on
rumors.
that
There was
match.
rumors.
I thought it was going to happen.
They
but
teased it. They
Well,
teased it big
I'll tell you
time.
this. Last year, so a lot of people said there's going to be 17 matches. That's obviously not going to happen. There's actually there's actually less matches scheduled right now. And if you add the women's battle royal, it's
I guess
exact same
I guess
as
what
last
they
year.
did is they put that out there and they heard the backlash against it. And now they're cutting down
They
on the matches.
I don't think they actually were going to plan on doing. I think you're right. I think they just put it out there. We're like, let's see what it is, and then they're like, oh yeah,
Because I think
we ain't
sometimes
gonna do it,
WWE feeds stuff to Meltzer and to them just to see what the reaction is.
I completely agree.
And then they change it.
Okay, so Kofi versus Daniel Bryan. Eric, what do you think happens?
Kofi Kingston wins. I think so.
It doesn't make sense for this storyline to happen if Kofi Kingston does not come out with the championship. Even if you want to turn New Day heel, he still needs to win the championship.
I agree. Yeah.
He still needs
no
to
matter
win
what,
it.
I think Kofi wins. It's whether I don't think if he wins, he holds the title for that long.
It's a short run
because Randy Orton's gonna beat Kofi. Daniel Bryan is beatable clearly as a heel. Like there's other guys like AJ Styles ain't losing to Kofi. Like that's not happening. Samoa Joe ain't losing to Kofi Kingston. Right, he might roll him up, but like in a legitimate WWE Championship match,
then we're gonna realize as a champion, Kofi's gonna realize as a champion, kayfabe wise, that everybody's rooting for you when you're the challenger, but nobody's rooting for you now that you're the champion. They're gunning for your ass.
Yeah, no. So it's exactly. So I think he wins. I don't think his title reign lasts until even probably the.
Now let's talk about the main event.
Yeah,
this
the main event.
This is the future probably of the WWE for the next 5 years on the line here. We always talk about the WrestleMania main event determining. I always say that's going to determine your next 5 years. Maybe it's going to at least determine your next year of wrestling.
Well, yeah,
it's going to
Brock
determine.
Lesnar versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31 ended up happening like 50 times.
Yeah, it's going to determine it. So. I'm interested to see this, okay? If Ronda Rousey goes
I'm interested to see who you guys think's gonna win.
If Ronda Rousey goes in there and says, "Hey, look, I'm not doing this right now. I'm going to go have a baby with my husband," they've got to put the title on Becky Lynch. If she says, "I'm going to stick around for one more year and then I'm going to lose and then I'm going to have a baby," they might keep it on Ronda.
Well,
they might keep it or give it to Charlotte and have Becky. Somebody told me they might have Charlotte get the title and have Becky chase it and win it at SummerSlam. And I'm like, no way. Like, no way. My opinion, why do all this stuff with Becky Lynch if she doesn't win the championship? That will be back-to-back years. She has the Royal Rumble winner would have lost.
This is the most important question with this, though. I want everybody to answer this. Who does Becky pin or submit in this match?
She has to pin Ronda.
But what happens?
Screwery. It has to be something where Charlotte.
But how is Ronda, after talking all this shit, going to tap out to Becky Lynch?
She's not going to tap out. She's going to try to make her tap out.
She's going to pin her.
It might get close, but it's not. She's going to find a way to pin her.
I'm so excited for this.
She's going to find a way to pin her. I can't see. But Becky Lynch, where are you? Where is the man that I knew and loved?
Yeah, I agree.
It's winding down.
It's great to be in so-and-so. Like, no, man. This Monday and Tuesday, I need to see badass Becky Lynch come out with something.
That's, yeah.
Do you think that might...
But so you're saying, your prediction is Becky Lynch wins, and she does what to who?
She pins Ronda Rousey.
Okay.
I think that she's going to...
Big.
Make
if you want Becky Lynch to be the man, you gotta let her pin her.
Well, for me, Becky, she might make Charlotte tap out just for the hell of us, because we know that Charlotte, there is no way in hell why she would even be in this main event. So I think just to help us out, just to send us home happy, just make Charlotte tap out.
Becky Lynch taps out Charlotte?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys got Becky Lynch. I don't.
Ronda, huh?
I think Ronda Rousey wins and submits Charlotte, and it sets up for potentially a match down the line somewhere else with Becky Lynch.
So you think Ronda's staying? You don't think Ronda's having a baby?
Well, no, she signed to a 2-year contract, so no.
A 3-year contract. Well, now it's 2-year.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Ronda Rousey. So
Okay.
that's not the popular opinion, but
do you think Travis will make an impact?
Absolutely.
Probably.
Absolutely.
He might make it. Yeah.
I don't know if that will actually be the defining factor of who wins, but I think to keep Becky, because if let's say Ronda beats Becky, I think that's the worst case scenario in this whole thing, right? I think we agree that we're booing them out of the building. If that happens.
Rioting.
Yeah, but if Ronda Rousey beats Charlotte,
I'm still not happy.
Here's what I think.
I'm happy she
here's
won,
what
but
I
I'm not
think.
happy.
Here's what I think is gonna happen, because this match by far is the most interesting match out of this whole thing. I really, I could actually see a scenario where every single member wins this match. I could see Charlotte winning to unify the titles, to have one women's title. Because I talked to Eric about this the other day. I didn't talk to you, so I'll say it right now on the podcast. I think that with the way they did the tag team championships for the women and the way Asuka was treated, I think they need one title. And so I think it would make sense if they unified the titles.
Why? Because one brand has clearly been seen as the more superior brand, but women with Raw over SmackDown, right?
Well, true, but I think a lot of people value the WWE Championship over the Universal Championship, though, too. So it could go both ways.
Well,
I think
it's on a big
SmackDown
show.
Tag Team Champions are more popular than the Raw Tag Team Champions, and the United States Champion, you could almost say, has been more legitimate than. So actually, SmackDown, in my opinion, has had a lot more favorable championships. But you're right. Triple H and Batista happened on Raw. You know, John Cena will come back to Raw. Undertaker comes back to Raw.
It's always going to be Raw.
It's always going to be Raw until Fox gets
Yeah,
SmackDown, and then shit can happen. But
then Fox is going to demand.
But so yeah,
these
I could
superstars
see
go on.
Charlotte winning. I don't know I don't know how she would, but I could see it with because of the unification thing. But that's like 10% chance. I could see Becky winning because obviously they've built it up to it. I could see her actually beating both members just due to certain things happening. But I actually think that Ronda Rousey, for what she said, I don't think there's any way she loses this match. She gets pinned or submitted. And I'm going to go with the percentage chance that she wins the match. And she has a match with Becky Lynch in the future. Maybe there's some fake injury that happens to Becky during this match where they put her off TV. Ronda goes away for a bit, and they have this match with
You're
SummerSlam. I think the match at SummerSlam is a possibility with Becky Lynch. Gotta have something big for
You're
SummerSlam, right?
overbooking this, in my opinion. Eric, what do you think, bro?
Well, yes, I do think that Charlotte hit her winning that title. To me, it just does make a mess, but I can look at it as a way to unify the two titles and turn into one. But the only thing for sure is that I think we've done enough for predictions, and the only way we can find out is for us to go over there and check it.
Well, who did you say was going to win the match? You said Lynch?
I said Lynch, yes.
Come on.
And who did she beat?
Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay, so
Send us home happy.
Maybe we should go off who's pinning who for this matchup. Not necessarily who's winning, but who's
I said
pinning
Ronda
who.
beats Charlotte. That's what
And I said that
submits her.
Becky not taps her out, but pins Ronda.
I could see that happening.
That's what I'm saying. And you're saying that Becky, how did she pin
Becky
her? Or
beats
Tap. She
taps
submits,
out Charlotte.
Yeah.
Which is I could see that happening too. I'm making this prediction because that's what I think is going to happen percentage wise. I don't want to see that happen.
We're not math guys. Nick.
I could see it 4 or 5 different. That's why this is the main event, because you look at Brock and Seth, and there's not this. Seth gets screwy and wins, or unrealistically beats Brock, which would kind of disappoint me in some ways, or Brock beats him realistically. Kofi and Daniel, there's 2 things that could happen. This match, there's a lot of shit that could happen. So this is why this is the main event.
That's because there's 3 people involved.
And
so
here's the last thing we're gonna predict.
So are you okay now with the triple threat?
Yeah, I mean, you get used to it, and they've done enough to promote it. It's fine. Becky versus Ronda versus Lynch. Actually, I could see there being no way Lynch winning. I think with triple threat, I think that has the opportunity of Ronda getting beat up by somebody else or double teamed, which is more.
But
realistic.
it doesn't legitimize Becky. That's my only issue.
If Becky,
if Becky pins Ronda.
That's the same. But Ronda Rousey is better than Becky Lynch, so that's why I'm predicting Ronda to win. I'm going realistic with this. I'm not going kayfabe with this. I like Brock Lesnar beating Seth Rollins. That makes sense. If Seth Rollins just pins Lesnar clean, that doesn't make sense to me. And that's kind of what I'll be like, you have a weird feeling in my stomach. I'll be like, that was kind of fakey.
All right.
Right? So I'm going Ronda. I think Lynch could win. I think Charlotte could win. I think Ronda could win. But I'm going to pick Ronda because that makes the most sense.
All right. Let's get to the end.
Yeah. No. Well, real quick, does Rock show up?
Yes.
No.
Yes. That'll be the last prediction.
And I literally lose my
Does
shit.
Undertaker show up?
Maybe.
Yes.
No, that's not an answer. You can't say
Yes.
it. Okay.
Yes.
No. And then does John Cena show up?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So that will add to the predictions. I want it to be the most predictions possible because this is WrestleMania, and I will update if the SmackDown Women's title gets put on the line. That does definitely change things.
And then we'll give our updates later.
Yeah, and if there's a women's battle royal, we'll say who wins that, stuff like that.
Just stay tuned to all of our social
yeah.
media.
So, but these are the main predictions. Like we said, Eric went undefeated last time with his picks, so we got to whoop his ass this time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, let's give out that social media.
Let's do it quick. Let's do it quick.
You guys do it first.
Mine's at Nick Nina. I actually changed my Snapchat to at lowercase Nina. At Nick Nina, all lowercase. So everything's the same. Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook. Well, Facebook just type in my name, but Instagram.
I still have you with the R in the.
Well, that's just dumb. My name is not spelled that way, man. So that's all mine. And Cover 2 podcast every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. And I will be a special guest on Eric's Slammin Saturday Morning WrestleMania edition this Saturday. You need to see that show. You need to listen.
We'll include the link and everything.
Yeah.
Definitely good stuff. For me on social media, _Santos_9 on Instagram, and check me out as Nick said, Slammin Saturday this Saturday, 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific time, only on OC Rock Radio, because I'm gonna be playing a lot of good stuff there, a lot of music from WrestleMania, from wrestling in general. I'm gonna throw everything out there for you, so stay tuned. The Video Game Cafe on Twitch and YouTube. One video is up, and I'll be streaming again. The latest video is called Checkmate, and so I'm gonna be killing some more zombies. Stay tuned.
I'm at RKJ Man, pretty much everywhere. At RKJ Man on Instagram, Twitter, the RKJ Man on Facebook, and Brian Johnson on Facebook. Just follow me along on my dreams, y'all. And also, please like, subscribe, share the podcast with your friends, people who don't like wrestling, because we don't always talk about wrestling too.
Yeah.
We talk about some crazy stuff on this podcast.
Yeah.
All right, hit that bell for notifications, okay, and stay tuned, especially to our social medias as we get forward to WrestleMania, because it's going to be crazy. Our WrestleMania podcasting is going to go to another level in New York, New Jersey. I can't wait, man.
Yeah, real quick. So all the social media at the Ring Generals, all lowercase on Instagram, at Ring Generals 1, the number 1, and at capital R, capital G in that name,
Twitter.
and then on Twitter, and then on Facebook, just type in the Ring Generals. I'm sure you'll find it. But we will be releasing this podcast. We will be releasing what our predictions were, just in case you didn't get to hear it. Obviously, if you're not listening to this, you won't know. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't even promote that. But we'll be doing Slammin Saturday this Saturday, and we are also going to review and talk about our favorite WrestleManias. That's also what we're going to do. Probably we're going to stream that and do like maybe a 15-minute time limits. We're going to do that real cool. So
You already know what mine is.
I know what yours is. Mine will probably be a little interesting, and then we'll do all that. But RKJ Man, take it away.
Hey, man, get ready for WrestleMania. But wherever you're at, raise a glass in the sky and salute the Ring Generals.